Thanks everybody for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started now. Today's topic is going to be on how to increase your repeat rate during a crisis. So today we're going to cover some effective strategies that are working today to organize your customer list, message to existing customers, and then run these virtual appointments that are going to help you stay touchless during a time of social distancing. So just to give you guys some background, over the past few weeks, myself from Hatch, I'm Josh Carter, and Michael Madison from Service Monster, we've been working with a lot of home services companies like you guys to help weather the storm, find different ways to grow the business, to keep business moving forward. And one of the main ways that we're finding to help folks keep business moving forward is addressing current customers and increasing that repeat rate. And that's particularly important for home services companies. I know we got a lot of cleaning folks on the line here, a lot of maid services. So that's really important for you guys. And we're going to make sure we touch on some strategies to effectively tackle that today. My name is Josh Carter, and I am the marketing manager here at Hatch.
And I'm Michael Madison, the marketing coordinator at Service Monster. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining, Michael.
Yeah, super excited. So just a quick breakdown where we're at. Looks like for today's attendees, about 80% of you are in the cleaning industry. We got some other industries here, so it's pretty cool. A lot of you can kind of share in the knowledge here if you are a cleaning industry. And those of you who are in a different industry, still related, still home improvement or maintenance or restoration, a home service business in general, welcome to you all. This is applicable and relevant information to all of you, no matter what industry you are. So yeah, super stoked to have you all here.
Awesome. Just a quick backstory on Hatch. Hatch, we are a messaging platform for home services companies. We combine text, email, and phone in one collaborative workspace to help you engage with your leads and your customers. So essentially, Hatch is your one-stop shop for all things messaging for home services companies. And we also offer a lot of this automation where you can automatically follow up with customers after you complete the job. You can automatically text somebody when they submit a request for a quote on your website. We even offer full collaboration with your entire staff in one place. And what that means is that you have your sales manager and you've got your sales reps using Hatch to have all their conversations with customers and leads. You can have visibility and pass conversations to who needs to be passed to. So Hatch is really going to be your one-stop messaging platform. And we work really nicely with Service Monster.
Yeah, so Service Monster, basically what we are, we're just a massive software platform that is built to help you run a more efficient business. It encompasses everything from call to close, from keeping track of your customer and job details, to even automated follow-up marketing, which is all designed to help you increase your repeat rate and keep customers coming back. Anything from estimating to scheduling to invoicing, both on a mobile app and on desktop software. We do it all. Our overall goal is just to help service businesses, cleaning companies, just be able to manage their businesses in a more efficient, more effective way, and give them the tools that you guys need to just continue to grow and continue to dominate your industry.
And we play really nicely together. Service Monster essentially is that one-stop shop to digitize your business. And Hatch centralizes all of those sales conversations across text, email, and phone. So what that looks like is if you're working in Service Monster, you're managing your leads, you're managing your customers, all their data. Hatch automatically pulls that data, all the customer information, the lead information, and allows you to start all these sales conversations and automate a lot of those sales conversations across text, email, and phone. So we play really nicely together. All the conversation information that's being stored in Hatch passes over to Service Monster. Service Monster has been a great partner of ours, really strong integration. So if you're using Service Monster today, we can get you started on Hatch very, very quickly. It's a very quick one-click integration. So really excited. We've got a lot of insights to share with you today from just the experience that the two of our companies have working with home services companies, especially the folks on the line here, a lot of cleaners here, working with them to help you guys really tackle this tackle this crisis. And we're in this together, guys. We're here today to help you, increase that repeat rate, which is super important. And look, that's all you're going to hear about Hatch. That's all you're going to hear about Service Monster, because at the end of the day, I don't want this to be a product pitch, guys. Like, this is not the time for us to tell you about Hatch. This is not the time for us to tell you about Service Monster. This is the time to help you guys grow your business and grow that repeat rate. So at the end of this webinar, you're going to have 4 takeaways you can bring to your business today. And I promise those takeaways aren't going to be wash your hands and stay 6 feet apart. I promise. It's going to be 4 takeaways you can bring to your business today. So I know we're all sick of hearing the same old messaging. Today, we're just going to come, full on with some actionable strategies to bring to your business. So just to summarize what we're finding today in the industry is you are an essential business. If you're a cleaner, you are under PHC, professional house cleaner, you're a vital part of society, and you're considered an essential business at the state level and the federal level. And even if you are not in the cleaning business and you're doing construction or remodeling or home services, there are only 6 states out of 50, 6 out of 50 that do not consider you an essential business. So hopefully if you're on the line here, you are an essential business. The next piece here is really interesting. A lot of businesses are diversifying their customer base. And what that means is in a cleaning use case, a lot of cleaners are moving from just doing home cleaning to doing commercial cleaning, because there's a lot of businesses that are still open. There's a lot of apartment complexes that need a higher frequency of cleaning. So all these essential businesses that are open, including apartment complexes, including a lot of retailers, they need a higher frequency of cleaning. And this is a great opportunity. And we're finding a lot of cleaners specifically are diversifying their customer base in order to keep business moving forward, during this time. And the next piece is virtual tools are moving business forward. There's no doubt that your face-to-face time has been limited, and there's a lot of virtual tools out there, whether they be quoting and estimating tools, messaging tools, virtual appointment tools, which we'll touch on today. They're moving business forward and at a really, really high rate during this time. So we're going to touch on that and how you can execute on virtual tools to help move your business forward during this time.
Yeah, so we have a little graph here, a little chart here to show you that the Google searches for the term home cleaning has actually been trending up. It's gone down a tiny bit recently, but it still is higher than it was over the past few weeks since this pandemic started. So really what that means is that people are searching more for home cleaning, for things related to home cleaning. So people need their homes cleaned, or they want to know how to clean their homes. So this presents great opportunities to any home service or cleaning business of being able to educate their customers on how to keep their own homes clean, or offer their own cleaning services to actually get those customers' homes cleaned.
And one thing that we're noticing here at Hatch is between February and March across our home services customers, which represents pretty much everybody on the call right now. I'm just looking at the attendee list here and the companies that you guys represent. We're finding that engagement rate, the amount in which homeowners are engaging with you, is up 9%. So in Hatch, we're measuring texting, emailing, and calling, all that data, and we're seeing a 9% increase in engagement. Homeowners are at home. I don't even want to look at my phone right now to see how much I've been on it today. It's probably been a lot. So we're at home. We're looking to get jobs done. So it's definitely an opportunity for you guys to capitalize on. Today, we're going to talk about your current customers or your existing customers or previous customers to capitalize on getting that business. And then one other thing that we're noticing is that the average selling price is down 5%. We're seeing that a lot of companies are finding success offering discounting, and a lot of homeowners, despite interest rates being lower than they ever been, they're still cost conscious, obviously. So we're finding that average selling price is down, engagement rates up. So this presents a good opportunity, and we'll touch on this today about how to effectively message to homeowners to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and getting jobs, even if you have to give up a little bit off the top to get the job done with some discounting. So we'll definitely touch on that today.
Yeah, so the average cleaning business repeat rate is around 50%, we've found. So what that means, if you're unfamiliar with repeat rate, is that 50% of your business comes from people who have been your customer previously. And really what that comes down to is that new leads are not cheap. We all know that, whether you buy leads or you are doing a lot of different types of marketing to get new leads coming in, that's expensive, it adds up. But it is cheaper and more effective to get jobs from repeat customers, from past customers. So it's kind of the focus of this whole webinar we're doing is on increasing your repeat rate through this time of the crisis. So kind of just to illustrate that, we have a handy little example here to show why. It says at the top, existing customers are a gold mine. Really is true. I won't go down through like the specific math here, but real quick, company A and company B, same number of new customers per month, same average invoice amount, very different repeat rate. Company A with a 25% repeat rate, company B with a 60% repeat rate. So after 36 months time, what we see here is that the customer base of company B has grown to almost double that of company A, because on top of getting new customers, every month the existing customers are staying. More of those new customers are staying and coming back again and again. Annual new revenue is obviously the same, but the annual recurring revenue is where you see this massive jump with company B, because they're getting so many jobs, they're making so much more money off of those repeat customers, those people who are coming back multiple times a year or once a year for fresh cleaning. And that really makes a big difference when you look at the annual total revenue of $80,000 compared to $150,000. Obviously, these are very much example numbers, but I think it still illustrates the point that targeting your existing customers, your past customers, really is like an incredibly effective way of growing your company and making more money.
I think that's a great point, Michael. And before we get into the strategies of how to tackle that, how about your business? I'm curious to see if you guys are, understand, have a, what your repeat rate is. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. And please let us know how much of your business is repeat. I know industry, we've seen around 50%, a little bit more. Some companies are doing as high as 80%. It just depends on the industry and the business makeup. But I'm curious for you guys, what's your repeat rate? Awesome. I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we've got less than 50%. You guys can see that. 30% of the audience is less than 50%. 36%, 50 to 60%. 60 to 70% represents 20% of the folks on the line here. 5%, 70 and above. Wow. And then 9% is I don't know. Today we're going to touch on how to calculate that repeat rate for the 9% that doesn't know your repeat rate. We're going to touch on that today. Great. Thanks for participating, everybody. So now let's talk through some strategies to capitalize on existing customers, increase that repeat rate. The first step is going to be organizing your customer list and to prioritize and personalize outreach. It's really important to understand who you need to go after and prioritize who you need to go after based upon the potential gains, and also personalize that. And I'm excited to touch on that in a bit with Michael of how to personalize your outreach to make sure that you get those responses and you get those jobs. And the next piece is going to be getting those jobs. So once you know who to reach out to and you've prioritized that, you can then implement a messaging strategy, a tried and true process to get more jobs, 30% more jobs with an effective messaging strategy. And we've seen that 30% number pop up over the past few months or so when companies start to address repeat business. Once they implement a tried and true, rinse and repeatable messaging strategy, we've seen an average of around 30% more repeat jobs. So I'm excited to share with that messaging strategy with you today. And the next piece is maintaining those relationships. We get it. We're all in a relationship business, especially the home services folks on the line here. We've got to help you guys maintain those. And that can be done with virtual appointments. So I'm really, really excited to share with you guys some free tools out there that can help you execute on those virtual appointments and help you keep moving business forward during this time.
Yeah, so the first one is organizing your customer list to prioritize and personalize outreach. So basically what this comes down to is knowing who your customers are and how to segment them, how to uh, figure out who is in which category and who's best to target, as we've talked about. So a big one is knowing who your repeat customers are, and knowing who is a big referrer, who is someone who maybe like tells all their friends about you, and then you get tons of new jobs because of them. Knowing who those people are is super, super important because it allows you to prioritize. Hey, this person gets me a lot of jobs. Like I can give them a special offer. I can reach out to them a little more and really like nurture that relationship. And for repeat customers, same thing. They know you, they trust you, they let you into their home or let you into their business, and knowing who they are allows you to personalize your communication with them. And this really is a good time during a crisis too to identify those who have used you in the past but haven't used you in a long time. So maybe it's been a few years since someone has reached out to you needing their carpets cleaned or needing their business pressure washed, whatever. This is a great time to reach back out to them, or at the very least, however you use it, whether you're using a CRM software like Service Monster, or you have like an Excel file with all your customer data in them, finding those people and targeting them specifically with some messaging. In Service Monster, we have many reports that allow you to do this really easily. Just click a button and boom, you can filter your clients super, super easily by all sorts of different metrics like last invoice date, last service date, referral type, whatever. And really what it comes down to, which we'll show on the next slide here, is updating your customer info, which allows you to start tracking details. In Service Monster, we call it custom fields. A lot of other people in different software industry, people call it custom fields as well. This allows you to keep track of customer details that you think are relevant. So this example here shows an account in the Service Monster app, and it has the bottom custom fields, and it says allergies none, number of rooms 5, blah blah blah, keeps going down. At the bottom you see pet names, Buddy, golden retriever. That is the level of detail that we can get here with this. So anything that you can add these in yourself, you can make your own. You can make it for kids names if you want, or like what kind of car they drive. I don't think that might be a little weird, but maybe it's helpful if you do like some auto detailing on the side or something. There's so many different things you can do inside each customer account to keep track of who these people are and what about them you can use in the future to market to them. This is how you personalize your messaging. In Hatch and Service Monster both, these custom fields can be used in automated marketing messages to reach out to people. So however you do it, whether it's in Service Monster or in an Excel file or just in your phone notes, like keeping track of these specific customer details really is helpful and allows you to really personalize the messages that you use to reach out to them.
Yeah, Michael, I'm just imagining, a campaign getting sent out to say, hey, I'd love to do, I'd love to come by and take a look at your carpets or whatever. Looking forward to seeing Buddy, for example. I think that would be super impactful using that custom field. I love that.
Yeah, we actually talk about that one all the time when we train people. Like, hey, like this is a great one. Like, looking forward to seeing you and Sparky. People love that. It really personalizes it and really it shows that you care. And I think that's the big part of it too. Is it shows that you as the business like genuinely care about this person and as a customer, and you're like you want to invest in that relationship to they're letting you in their house. You want to be trusted.
Exactly. And I love that's a perfect segue because now we're talking about messaging and how it's important to not have that bland generic messaging when you're talking to customers. You want to, you have a great relationship with your customers already. Let's make sure that how you communicate with them over text, email, phone is matching that relationship that you have with them and making sure that you're developing those relationships in a good manner here. So there's a lot of messaging strategies that Hatch has discovered over the past few weeks that have worked really well for home services companies. And it really is comprised of 4 different parts here. The first part is what Michael touched on first. You've got to know who to reach out to. first. So make sure you segment your customers to know who to go after. Maybe you want to prioritize carpet cleaning customers first before you tackle, the tile cleaning or the pressure washing customers. However you want to do this, segment it out first and know who to go after, and then deliver messaging that's tied to that segment. So that's going to be all through messaging via texting, emailing, phone calls, voicemails, and then automating a lot of that. That's going to be super important because it's really tough to just manually go in and send an individual text to one person, then go over to the next person and send another text, and making sure that's all personalized and at scale. So using a tool like Hatch, you can accomplish that with our automated messaging features here. So really it's all about first knowing who to go after and reaching out to them with multiple touch points. And then of course you're going to get objections, and you've got to figure out a way to handle those objections, right? I mean, let's just not assume everybody's going to want more business from you. You're going to have customers that are unhappy. You're going to need to find a way to delegate how you handle that. I'm sure a lot of your sales reps are really talented people that can have, that are able to spin objections, but a lot of folks aren't necessarily talented in doing that. So you got to make sure you understand how to handle objections and spin those around to win business back. And we'll touch on a use case in a bit later of how a company did that. And then make sure you're delegating responses accordingly. Does it need to go to the sales manager? Does it need to go to the owner? Does it need to go to finance? Whoever it needs to go to, make sure you have a process in place to say, hey, when we get this objection, this is who it goes to, so on and so forth. So that way, when you're executing on this messaging strategy or messaging a lot of folks, you're trying to get more business, but you've got a process in place to handle those responses there. And the next piece is just have visibility, right? I think visibility is really important. You can't improve what you can't measure. So it's really important to have visibility and accountability into every conversation. So when it comes to messaging and having these conversations, it all starts with having a multi-touch strategy. It's important to stay top of mind. This is an example of a multi-touch strategy that works really well for our customers that they launch inside of Hatch, where they say, hey, on day one, I want to send a text and an email. Day two, send a text and a phone call. And then day four, wait a couple days and send an email and a text. And then on day six, sort of the Hail Mary approach, where we have text, email, phone, triple tap kind of cadence there. So this is really, really important to stay top of mind, is this multi-touch strategy. And it's working really well for businesses. And imagine just clicking one button saying launch day one, and it automatically sends out messages until somebody responds. That's why it's really important to have an automation solution like Hatch that can help you with this. So the first messaging use case that I want to share with you guys today is discounting during this time. Applying discounting is working really well for a lot of home services companies today, especially with existing customers. So use their loyalty, right? Use their loyalty to press a discount and get repeat business. So here's an example of a really good initial message that is working really well for cleaning companies today, specifically carpet cleaning companies. This is a playbook that we're using with a few different carpet cleaning companies that we work with, and it's getting a lot of responses. So I want to share this with you guys. And after this presentation, I'll share this deck with everybody on the call here. And you guys can copy this messaging for yourself. We've got a lot of different playbooks that we can share with you guys. So happy to help in that front. So this is a text message that goes out from me. I say, hi, Chris, this is Josh from Best Cleaning Company here. We are open, keeping houses clean and safe. So notice how I open up saying, hey, we're open, keeping houses clean and safe. A lot of homeowners do not realize that you are open for business. They assume a lot of small businesses are closed, and honestly, a lot of them are just going to assume that you're closed despite you're providing an essential service. So it's important to make sure that they know that you're, open, keeping houses clean and safe. And then now you can use the affinity that they've worked with you before, that loyalty factor. Since you've worked with us before, I've been authorized to give you a 30% discount on your next carpet cleaning service. Would you like to schedule that now? So this gets a lot of responses, but if somebody doesn't respond, it'll automatically send another text. So you want to make sure you reach out again. You can't just leave it at one text and say goodbye. You've got to follow up. So on the second day, if nobody answers, you can follow up. You can say, hey, Chris, to make it easy, you can schedule your carpet cleaning here, calendly.com/bestcleaningcompany. I'll make sure your 30% discount gets applied. So if you don't get a response, you got to reach back out. Oftentimes we're finding that it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 touch points to get somebody to respond, even if they're an existing customer. So just make sure you're following up. And Calendly is a great free solution for you to schedule, you know, a lot of these appointments. So if we see here, and this is what it looks like from the customer's view. So they can go into here and actually click in to select a date and schedule that time. You can even add a buffer. So you can even say, hey, you know, add an hour between appointments, so that way you can travel. So this is why Calendly is a really great tool. And you can send that in directly in text, and the customer can actually just click into that in their text message and then go directly to the scheduling page and schedule it. All hands-free, touchless, doesn't require a phone call, allows you to do more with less. The
One
next
thing, if I can
piece,
jump in real quick,
of course.
there, that's okay. If you are a Service Monster user, we do have online booking capabilities built into your account. So same thing, because that's a fantastic point that you brought up there, Josh, with booking online, like sending an email or a text with a link to book, and having that capability on your website too. That is massive during this time. That just totally changes the game. If people, you know, it seems like a lot of people don't really enjoy talking on the phone as much as they used to. And if people can schedule a job just totally without having to have a conversation, they love that. So I just wanted to say that's a massive thing. If you're not already doing allowing customers to book online in some way, whether it's through a Service Monster booking button or through Calendly or through anything else, there's so many. It's really a great thing to focus on during this time, kind of get that implemented in your business.
I love that, Michael. Thank you. The next piece is more targeted towards the maid services on the phone. I see quite a few of those cleaning folks were maid services. So this is going to really hit home for you guys. We have a few maid service companies that we're working with where we started using the word disinfecting in messages, and it's really getting responses. So traditionally, you know, maid services, the messaging is around cleaning, broom, you know, sweeping, dusting, vacuuming, all that stuff. That's been the traditional way that homeowners perceive you. And if you kind of spin that on its head and use the word disinfecting, it's working really well to get responses, especially now during this time, right? Everyone's concerned about disinfecting their hands, disinfecting services. So if you use that word disinfecting with your existing customers, excuse me, it'll hit home for them. So here's an example of that. We'll consider, I work for a company called Rockstar Maids. I think that's a great name. I hope that's not taken. We are fully stocked with cleaning supplies and would love to come disinfect your home. Would you like to schedule your cleaning? So again, we're using that multi-touch approach here. This is just an example of the initial outreach. And then if we don't get a response, this is another strategy, wait 3 days and then offer a discount. So here we didn't actually offer the discount. This is another playbook. So the first playbook, we offered the discount right out the bat, and then we asked them to schedule the day after. This is waiting 3 days for them to think about it. Maybe they don't want to invest in it. Maybe they're just making considerations. Whatever the case may be, you're going to again hit them again 3 days later and offer a discount. This works really, really well. Not just offering a discount 3 days later, guys, but also putting a timeline on that discount. So if you say, hey, we're offering a 30% discount for appointments scheduled before May 15th, what do you think? And this is working really, really, really well for cleaning companies and maid services. It's also working well for roofers, siding companies, and windows companies. So offering a discount with a expiration date is working really, really well, and it's getting responses. And then boom, got the response. Sounds great. How about 2 p.m. May 1st? And then you can book it. The next piece Michael touched on earlier is cross-sell opportunities. Finding, if you do, most of you guys on the phone here don't just do one thing. You do a lot of different services at a lot of different prices. Now's an opportunity to revisit those. So if you did carpet cleaning for somebody last month, you could explore pressure washing this month, for example. An example of that is this is what we call a cross-sell playbook. It's the initial follow-up from the first job that's being done, and this works really well for this industry, the home services industry. Hi, Chris. This is Josh from Home Services Deluxe. I hope you are happy with my work. I noticed you have a few area rugs in your home. Would you like us to come by and steam clean those? I know there's a lot of folks here that are offering in-home rug cleaning instead of actually taking the rugs out. I know our friends over at Peace Frog are doing that. Really cool, innovative technology there. So here we're saying, hey, we can come by and do this for you really quickly, and it's typically at a lower price. So we're saying, hey, I noticed you have a few area rugs in your home. Would you like to come by and steam clean those? So this again is a follow-up from a job that was done that wasn't related to actually the rug cleaning. It was related to, it could be carpet cleaning, it could be tile cleaning, it could be pressure washing, whatever the case may be. And then here's when you get the response. Uh-oh, this was actually a negative response. So the ones I showed you before were all positive responses. You were able to book the appointment. This is a negative response. I'm not happy. There are still dirty spots on my carpet. I'm going to take my business elsewhere. So how do you handle this, right? And this happens all the time. We see this a lot in Hatch with working with customers. Is you're gonna get these negative responses, and you got to figure out a way to handle those guys. So a lot of companies would take this response and throw their hands up in the air and say, geez, like I quit, like I don't want to deal with this guy anymore. Chris is just, it's not somebody I want to work with anymore. And then they'll just ignore this customer, or maybe even mark them in their CRM as do not contact, whatever the case may be. This is just negative feedback here. So a big part about messaging here, guys, especially now more than ever, is you're going to get this negative feedback, and you got to have a way to handle this. So now's a good time to tag in your sales manager. Hey, Chris, this is John, Josh's sales manager. I want to make this right. Can I come by tomorrow and clean the dirty spots that were missed? This works wonders. You would not even believe it. I've seen this happen countless times over the last few months since I've been with Hatch, of a sales manager jumping into a conversation and saying, hey, I want to make this right. And it ends up being the sales manager goes over to the house, makes it right, and then actually develops a relationship with the homeowner and then gets more jobs out of that. So, we get it. Sometimes reps make mistakes, installers make mistakes, or maybe the homeowner noticed something that, wasn't actually related to the job itself, that your rep did. But either way, you got to have a way to handle this. And this is a really good approach. And what that looks like in Hatch is this bird's eye view. It's a good illustration of, handling all these conversations at a bird's eye view. We've got an inbound column, which is all the new leads. And then you have all the folks that were given estimates, all the folks who had their job scheduled, all the folks where the job was complete. And then of course the follow-up there, which is what I'm talking about just now, about the follow-up, finding cross-sell opportunities. So this is just an example of like a bird's eye view. And this is what our expertise is here at Hatch, is giving you that bird's eye view, allowing you to share those conversations, allowing owners, allowing sales managers to jump into these conversations with reps, literally click into here, jump into the conversation, and engage with the homeowner. So that's been really effective for folks using Hatch. And the other piece is having visibility not just into the conversations, but in the metrics. Make sure you're tracking the amount of people you're reaching out to, who's responded, who's engaged. We make it easy in Hatch. You can also do this in an Excel sheet, just making a column for the amount of people you sent messages to, the amount of people who responded, and you can calculate engagement rate that way. And then you can tie a dollar value next to that. So just make sure you're tracking, guys. And one thing I did want to highlight on this slide is the importance of incorporating texting into your business. Notice how the response rate from emails is 36 out of 1,200 that were sent by this home services company in the month of March. This is an example Hatch customer here that is sent over 1,100 emails, but only got 36 responses. But then when you look at texting, they got a near 50% response rate over texting. So it's really, really impactful to layer in texting into your business, guys.
Yeah, and that ties in really nicely, talking about texting and how effective that is. Another technological aspect that's kind of newer and more of a thing that we're experiencing now with this crisis is virtual appointments. I'm sure many of you know and have seen how big Zoom has been getting, and even just like if you have an iPhone, FaceTime calls or using like Google Meet. There's so many different video chatting platforms that you can use. But technology is a huge help here. So there's some benefits to virtual appointments that I want to talk about. Really, those benefits I guess the essence of it is that it's face to face without actually being face to face, and that's what's so cool. You know, many of you as a home services or cleaning business owner, you're used to you or your employees going out, meeting customers face to face, going into their homes, going to their businesses, and doing an estimate that way. But this actually, doing virtual appointments allows you to do estimates to get that initial contact out of the way completely touchless. And that is just that that's so cool. That's such an amazing opportunity that we have in any industry to really reach out to our customers and make that connection face to face, with keeping that distance though, that social distancing, and with being safe and respectful of people's preferences regarding human contact at this time. You never know where people are at with that. And it really comes down to doing more with less resources. Think about the amount of time that you spend driving around to do different estimates, or driving around just to like talk with a customer, follow up on a job or anything. The amount of time you spend doing all those things, the amount of the gas that you spend doing that. If you're doing virtual appointments, you save a ton of time because you eliminate that travel time, you eliminate the gas cost. So it really, virtual appointments is just a massive help to service businesses to just make your business more efficient. It gives you more time then to reach out to even more customers or do more jobs, whatever. Whatever you need. It's awesome. So I'd really encourage you guys to look into virtual appointments. And Josh here is going to talk a little bit more about what virtual appointments look like and how you can implement them into your business.
Yeah, great point, Michael. It's super important to introduce these into your business. If you can do most of your business without being face to face, that's gold, right? Especially during this time. So this is just an example of a conversation in Hatch. Hey, it was a pleasure cleaning your carpets. As you know, we also offer pressure washing. Happy to take care of that for you. I'll throw in a 20% discount too. And then he says, yeah, how much will it cost? Well, you never gave him an estimate for this job, so you want to do this over the phone here to get some measurements, see the type of damage that's done, or see how much work needs to be done. And then you can immediately start a virtual appointment using a lot of different tools, but our favorite is Whereby, because you can join without downloading an app and it's free. So inside of Hatch, just click this Whereby link and start the virtual appointment, and it's free. So you can see here that Best Cleaning Company. I'm here, looking at the siding and the deck here that needs pressure washing here, and I can do this in Whereby, and this is all done on my mobile browser. So Whereby is a really, really good tool, guys. So really encourage you guys to go to whereby.com and start running virtual appointments for yourself. It's working really well in the industry today. Cool. So
sorry.
Made it,
I had my mic muted.
All good.
So I started talking, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm still muted. But we want to make sure that you guys have some key takeaways. Josh mentioned this at the very beginning. So first of all, I'm just going to say inventory and segment your repeat customers, knowing who they are, knowing how they're broken up regarding like their lead source, like where they came from, or if they were referred, all that. Super important. So first of all, if you do anything, look through your customer list. Hopefully you have a customer list, and just kind of take inventory with that. Look at the people who are repeat customers, identify them, identify the people, like I mentioned earlier, who haven't used you in a long time but did use you at one point in the past, and just really take the time to comb through your customer data and find those people who you can target with this type of messaging.
The next piece is inform folks that you are essential. Most states, cleaning is essential. Most states, I know there are some that are not, and are open for business. Use offers when necessary. That's just going to be really important here, to make sure your customers, if you are available to be open for business, to use offers when necessary. And the other piece is that if you are not considered an essential business in your state, you can always book jobs out in the future. So when this all passes, you can book jobs out in the future. And I think that's a really important thing to touch on here, guys. is to make sure that you're staying top of mind for your customers and making sure that they know that you're there for them.
Yep. And third is knowing and tracking your repeat rate. I mean, it looks like through this through the poll you did at the beginning, most of you already are doing that. So I applaud you for that. That is awesome. And those of you who are new to it, keep tracking it. Keep track over time of your repeat rate. This is a great time to look back through different marketing campaigns you've done or different methods of communicating with customers, kind of seeing how your repeat rate has fluctuated, if it has at all. And if you're not tracking repeat rate right now, this is a fantastic time to get started doing that, to calculate where you're at right now, keep track of it over time, and see how repeat business is affecting your business and how it can help you grow.
No doubt. And the last piece is run your business with virtual appointments. Do as much as you can without being in front of the homeowner. Abide by the social distance guidelines. Run your business with virtual appointments. Whereby.com is a great tool for you there. And yeah, and that just about does the webinar. I really just want to get a sense. I hope this was really valuable for everybody. We're about to go into the Q&A section here, and I know we got quite a few questions here. As people ask questions, let us know if you'd like to learn more about Hatch, like to learn more about Service Monster. I'm going to launch this poll right now. Just let us know. And if you don't want to learn about any other companies, that's totally cool too. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll.
Yep, we just want to provide value. It's okay if you don't want to know anything about either of us. That's okay. We just are glad that you're here. That's really all it comes down to.
And there we go. Sorry, folks, took me a second to get that pulled up. Thank you for your participation. Awesome, and I'll close the poll in about 10 seconds. And we've got a lot of questions in, so we're going to try to answer as many as possible here, guys. Five, four, three, two, one. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for your participation there. Cool. So now's the Q&A. I'm going to start with the first question here. First question is, do you find repeat customers are inclined to ask for discounts? And that was asked by our friend Andrew. Andrew, that's a really good question. We're finding that when there is price questioning, or not price questioning, but price sensitivity, that offering a discount is working really well. So, when repeat customers, you reach out to them, you ask them for, if they'd like to do the same job, maybe 1 month later, 2 months later, and they say, oh, I don't know if I have the budget for it this month. That's a good time for you to offer that discount. But leading with the discount, we've seen effective as well. But yeah, definitely, even offering just a few percentage points off can make the difference there for your customers. So that's a really good question. The next question is from Andy. He asks, curious what you've seen as a response to clients who say, I can't believe you're still providing this service. Don't you understand how risky this is? I don't know, Michael, do you want to answer that question?
Throw that one on me. No, that's good. Yeah, well, I think with that, it's if you are an essential business, you can be like, hey, look, this is where we're, you can point them if you want to your state's social or their guidelines, whatever it's called, for what essential businesses are. But also, this is a great time, I think, to highlight the steps you are taking to keep your customers and your employees safe.
Yep.
This is a great time in your messaging, be like, hey, we're actually taking these extra steps to make sure that you guys are safe as my customer and your family. You guys will not be in contact with any of our people. We are sanitizing all surfaces that we touch afterwards, blah, blah, blah. So many things you can do with that. Of actually, that's a great opportunity to kind of provide some more value of like, hey, like we are taking this seriously. Like, I understand your concern. Yes, it is a risky time right now, but we have adapted, we've pivoted the way that we run our business to really be effective in this time and keep you guys safe. Because that really humanizes your business too, of just being like, yeah, we care about keeping you safe, and we want to make sure that you and your family are healthy, and we're not negatively contributing in any way to that. So yeah, great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Next one is, and I can answer this, anyone adjusting payment terms to accommodate customers with limited cash flow? We've seen a lot of customers do this, working with financing partners like GetHearth.com, Green Sky is a couple different financing partners that a lot of our customers use. Payment terms, yeah, definitely having to do that right now. Limited cash flow. The other benefit though is with interest rates being so low for bigger projects, it's a good time to offer that financing incentive. We've seen this work really well for our friends in roofing, siding, and windows for these big jobs to offer 0% APR financing. There's a lot of promotional financing that's really big right now with those financing partners. So yes, we've seen folks have to adjust those payment terms. Next question is, do you think it's worth calling customers first and then follow up with a text, or is it not effective? Yeah, I call that the double tap, where you call and text customers, right after the other. If you've got a good relationship with your customers where they might even have your phone number saved, I think it's great to call them, right? Because you'll pop up in their phone. But if you don't, have that deeper relationship that they typically won't answer your phone calls, then I would definitely lead with a text. That can work too. Another approach that I've seen work really well is just leave a voicemail and just follow up with a text. Say, hey, this is Josh from Best Windows. I just left you a voicemail. Let me know when you have time to chat. That works really well too. So it's just getting in front of your customers. I think it's totally fine to call your customers first, especially if you have a good relationship with them and you think that they'll respond. Do you have to have, next question is, it's a really good one. Do you have to have past customers' permission to text message them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
If they give you your data, you might be able to speak to this better, Michael.
Oh, I don't know. Just you go with what you have.
Yeah, sure. So the text messaging, you can definitely text folks that give you their information. Typically, if they fill out a form on your website, as it's part of your privacy policy, if you do have that in your business, that you do have the permission to text message them. We have not run into issues with that. It's going to be compliant with CCPA, the California Protection Act, as well as GDPR if you're working with European clients. So yeah, you should be good to go there, especially if you got their information from a Home Advisor or a Modernize. They're by default allowing their information to be shared with you to reach out to them. So I would not worry about that.
Yeah, and just to jump in real quick there. I mean, you kind of already said it, but just to reiterate, the key there is making sure that you have their permission. That no matter how the lead comes in, if they come in through a form on your website and they put your phone number in, or they put their phone number in the form, but you don't have any indication, like any box you check with like a terms kind of thing, or any sort of indication that you might text them, that usually is not okay to text them. Then there needs to be something that they do where it's clear that they are giving you permission to text them, because otherwise you can get in trouble, and we don't want you to get in trouble.
Yep, great. We have time for a couple more questions. The next question is from Paul. He's asked, I have a stack of old sales receipts from 2013. Should I contact them they're not filed in my QuickBooks. Well, if they're sales receipts and they gave you your information, I think it's perfectly acceptable for you to reach out to them, Paul.
Yeah, why not? Might as well.
Yep. And don't worry, we won't do any robocalls, Dave. Some questions about Hatch, how to access Hatch, pricing, all that stuff. Just go to our website, guys. Use hatchapp.com/servicemonster, guys. Use hatchapp.com/servicemonster. Put in your phone number. We won't spam you. We'll reach out to you. We're real human, and we'll get you started and get you onboarded there. And if you're interested in learning more about Service Monster, you can go to servicemonster.net. They offer a trial. Great product right there. Awesome, everybody. Well, this was a really fun webinar. Thanks for joining. I hope this was really insightful for you guys. I'm getting feedback already in the Q&A section. And I really appreciate the feedback, everybody. And the questions were great. Thank you, Michael, for joining. This was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was super fun.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe out there. We'll follow up with this deck and this recording so you can watch it and share with your business. And we hope it was helpful. Everybody take care.